wonderful day. Welcome to Baptist Men's Day here at Elon. I want to thank you all for the opportunity to bring the message, share God's Word with you. Today is Father's Day, so I'd like to recognize the fathers we have here with us. Say thank you for the time, effort, and the love that you all put into your children's lives. Encourage you all to continue with that commitment and that dedication towards not only your own children, but also towards others who are in need of a father figure in their lives. God has given fathers a unique role and a special importance. It's something that none of us as men should take lightly or accept half-heartedly. I've now been a part of the church for about 6 years. I consider myself lucky and blessed because of it. To the men specifically of this church, I want to say thank you for the knowledge you've shared and the examples that you've been to me since I've been here at Elon. Though I'm sure many of you are unaware of it, you all are helping to grow me and continue to shape me as a Christian man in my Christian walk. Scripture tells us how, as men, we should carry ourselves and be examples to the younger men who are looking up to us. Titus 2, 6, and 7 is straightforward, straight to the point on this subject, and makes it easy to understand what's expected from us men. It says, older men are to be self-controlled, worthy of respect, sensible, sound in faith, love, and endurance. Likewise, encourage the young men to be sensible in everything. Set an example of good works yourself with integrity and dignity in your teaching. I believe we sometimes forget the influences and also the importance that we play on not only individuals' lives, but specifically the younger individuals' lives. I ask that on this day of celebrating fathers, that we as Christian men take some time to remember and reflect on the responsibilities that God's called us for. For some of you gentlemen, the responsibilities will be a little bit more difficult and trying than for others. If you need some examples of that, as far as the difficult and trying times, then I'm sure you could ask my dad. He would have some stories for you from having to put up with me over the years. He's had the, what I would call, privilege, though he might choose a different term, of raising me. But my dad is here with us this morning, and as many of you recall from last year's Baptist Men's Day, I was caught off guard when he showed up that morning. I was told that he was going to be working that day and would be unable to attend. So this year, I wasn't going to let that happen again, and I specifically called and asked if he would be in attendance, and was guaranteed that he was not working and would indeed be here with us for the service. So due to his presence this morning, you all will be hearing only some select stories, and not all the good ones that he still might not know about his own self. My father's the hardest working man that I've known, and doubt very seriously that anyone will ever come close to that title. He's an up before the sunrise and not home till after the sunset kind of man. I truly respect that about him and the work ethic that he possesses. It's a work ethic that's grounded in a commitment and a dedication, and also a whole lot of stubbornness. But when it comes to the ownership of his responsibilities, there couldn't have been a better earthly example. A portion of those responsibilities included myself, and because of me, he's had to put in a few extra hours or weeks of work over the course of 27 years. You see, I don't possess the same mechanical or farming knowledge that my father does, but that's never stopped him from requiring me to help on the farm. Many times it seems like the work actually took longer when I was involved. I've not come across a piece of equipment yet that can hold up against me. If there is a piece of machinery out there that can't be broken, give me a chance at it, and I'm sure that I'll prove that statement false. Lawnmowers are easy. I'm able to run through 2 belts on 1 cut. 4-wheelers are definitely made to go across the hard surface road and over the ditch and into a fence. Sea-doos don't need oil because they obviously run on water. One day he got me up. He got me to help him by doing some bush hogging on some of the fields at the house. And I thought that when the dust was flying from the disc of the slip clutch, which in all candidness, I had to call him and ask specifically what that was again, because I didn't know. And, well, I thought that meant that it was doing its job and not that it was wearing out. I had a little S10 truck that I would use for hunting and taking off the trash and just running around the farm. Running around the farm. Well, in one of the creek bottoms, there's a swamp. And I came up with the idea that if I went fast enough down the hill, that I would be able to make it across that swamp, across that creek bottom, and I could have a big old time just running the truck through the mud. Well, after the axles and really the whole underside of the truck had bottomed out on the first try, I walked back to the house and waited for Dad to get home from work. He got the tractor and pulled the truck out for me. The scariest one was when I was dragging the fields and almost ran clean off a hillside. I was bumping on across the field, and next thing I know, I was turning the steering wheel one direction, and the tractor was taking off the other way. Luckily, it turned up the hill instead of off the hill, and somehow I managed to break the steering rod, and I lost all control of the tractor. I was so frazzled, I didn't have any idea how I had stopped. I only remembered that I did stop, and then once again, I was walking back to the house. If there's something out there, I can find a way to break it. My father would have different tasks and jobs planned for me. He would give me the tools needed to complete that task, but yet somehow I could find a way to mess things up, and there would arise the need for me to go calling after my dad for him to come and fix what I'd screwed up. There are countless hours that my dad's had to spend cleaning up my mess, but without fail, every time, he would be there to protect me. Every time he came to find me in my mess, I would get to see his commitment and his dedication. He'd fix the piece of equipment, and then he'd go back to carrying on with the rest of his work. During the 2013 Super Bowl, there was an ad that came on for Dodge trucks. This ad was made up of a man who I thought had a true radio voice. And as he was speaking, there were still pictures of rural America going in the background. It was America, and then along with it, at the end of it, when it finished up, it finished with the Dodge truck in that setting. As the ad was being shown, I was quiet. I was focused on every word that was being said. And when it had finished, you can ask Samantha about it. I'm sure she remembers what was going on because I was pretty annoyed about it. I told her that it was my favorite Super Bowl ad, how much I enjoyed it, and I kept talking about it, and I wouldn't leave it alone. So I started looking it up on the internet to find out more about the man who had been doing the speaking, about the ad itself, where the words had come from. Well, I found it pretty quick because it turns out it's well known and popular. It was just well known before my time. It was none other than Paul Harvey in a clip from a speech that he'd given to an FFA convention in 1978. The words I thought were so true and described the man that I called Dad to a T. So here's the clip itself from what was said.
And on the 8th day, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a caretaker. So God made a farmer. God said, I need somebody willing to get up before dawn, milk cows, work all day in the fields, milk cows again, eat supper, then go to town and stay past midnight at a meeting of the school board. So God made a farmer. I need somebody with arms strong enough to wrestle a calf and yet gentle enough to deliver his own grandchild. Somebody to call hogs, tame cantankerous machinery, come home hungry, have to wait lunch until his wife's done feeding visiting ladies, then tell the ladies to be sure and come back real soon, and mean it. So God made a farmer. God said, I need somebody willing to sit up all night with a newborn colt and watch it die, and dry his eyes and say, maybe next year. I need somebody who can shape an axe handle, grow a persimmon sprout, shoe a horse with a hunk of car tire, who can make harness out of hay, wire, feed sacks, and shoe scraps, who planting time and harvest season will finish his 40-hour week by Tuesday noon and then painting from tractor back, put in another 72 hours. So God made a farmer. God had to have somebody willing to ride the ruts at double speed to get the hay in ahead of the rain clouds and yet stop in midfield and race to help when he sees the first smoke from a neighbor's place. So God made a farmer. God said, I need somebody strong enough to clear trees and heave bales, yet gentle enough to yean lambs and wean pigs and tend the pink-foamed pullets, who will stop his mower for an hour to splint the broken leg of a meadowlark, It had to be somebody who'd plow deep and straight and not cut corners. Somebody to seed, weed, feed, breed, and rake and disc and plow and plant and tie the fleece and strain the milk and replenish the self-feeder and finish a hard week's work with a 5-mile drive to church. Somebody would bail a family together with the soft, strong bonds of sharing, who would laugh and then sigh and then reply with smiling eyes when his son says that he wants to spend his life doing what Dad does. So God made a farmer.
I don't believe I could speak those words any better or come up with a more accurate description of who my father is to me, what he means to me, than what Mr. Harvey did right there and what he said at that convention. I'm blessed and fortunate enough to have the dad that I do, and I'm truly grateful